Hi, this is Ted Dhanik, CEO of Engage BDR, EN1 on the ASX. Today we're introducing a couple new partnerships on our programmatic business to the market. We signed a couple deals last month which went live recently. One of them was a company called Third Presence. It would be an integration on the programmatic side. They're a pretty big player in connected TV, connected television, which is video inventory sold programmatically. Another partnership we signed was a company called Acuity, and they're a large player in programmatic space in Canada. Acuity is now live with us, generating revenue, and so is Third Presence. It's pretty good partnerships for us to announce. U.S. company Third Presence is very important to us, and the reason why is because they're heavily positioned in the connected television space. In the U.S., connected television is one of the most emerging places in video, where video happens to be where majority of the marketing budgets in the US are consumed, where dollars are consumed, and connected TV is new. So connected television we have been involved with for a couple of years now, and we see a lot of growth happening there for us in 2019. Starting with partnerships coming on board such as Third Presence, we expect the business to mature significantly and potentially over time. We think it'll be a pretty large percentage of our revenue. With regards to the partnership in Canada, a company called Acuity, they are providing significantly incremental business for us that we don't have today, which includes lots of Canadian companies, and that's pretty big for us. So currently we're focused mostly in the US, but 90+% of our revenue is currently coming from the US. Canada is in North America, which makes it great, easy for us to make trips out there to visit partners, etc., including Acuity. So it'll be very nice for us. Why programmatic partnerships are so important for us today? Now, I've mentioned in previous announcements that the company is heavily focused in video, so majority of our business is selling ads. Like what you see on YouTube, they are pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll, video commercials essentially. And there are some display ads and native advertising as well. You see some banners on pages and things like that. Now, this is not old school legacy type stuff. This is very cutting edge. It's data driven, so we're basically selling users, not placements on a site. So essentially a car manufacturer, for example, wants access to users who've been searching for specific cars on sites. They want to target just those users and all the way down to the model of the car. Well, we're selling those users basically to the advertisers that are looking for them. So that enables us to present significant value, and we're not just out there selling real estate on the site. That happened to be a business that everyone was engaged in for many years, a long time ago, but as the industry matured and technology became better, we have the ability to really give advertisers exactly what they're looking for from the perspective of users, right? So that makes us significantly valuable for our customers. The integrations are very valuable to us because that's exactly how we transact. So when you integrate a publisher, that introduces supply into our ecosystem. When you integrate a buyer, a programmatic integration, they are bidding for those that inventory or those users. So the technology that we have in between is what we call an exchange, which enables real-time bidding, which happens in 200 milliseconds. So every time a page is loaded, there's several ad units on the page. And those ad units load, and before they actually show an ad, an auction happens in the background within 200 milliseconds, and somebody wins an auction and an ad is displayed. It's very, very complicated and technical, and the technology takes a really long time to develop. Ours has been maturing over 10 years, and we have hundreds and hundreds of millions of lines of code, probably billions of lines of code. It's all proprietary and owned by us. So this is where the industry is headed as far as advertising is concerned. Content, which is what you see on websites, articles, images, editorial, apps, the games that you play on apps, etc., they're all being monetized by ads. And the ads are becoming more and more expensive, even though the inventory is growing. The reason why they're becoming more expensive is because we, the people in the industry, are finding ways to make this ad inventory much more valuable and perform better for these advertisers. So before you would show an ad to an advertiser for an advertiser, and people would see an ad and maybe they click on it, maybe they do something, maybe it wasn't even relevant to the right audience. You might be showing a sneaker ad to someone who is, who just wears work shoes or something like that, and irrelevant. And that's kind of how it was back in the days. Or you might show a dress ad to, somebody who doesn't wear dresses. And that's kind of how it was back, years ago. Today, it's very, very targeted. As I mentioned, it could be contextually targeted, relevant to search history of a user. Could be, relevant to latitude, longitude, coordinate of a specific business, and they want to target in a radius of where they're located or all their locations, that kind of thing. So very targeted and very valuable, and the prices are just going up. So this is not an industry that is changing for the worse. It's actually getting better, and the budgets are increasing, and everyone is very excited about that. So what this really means is our business is, we're in the business to make sure that publishing is viable. And what publishing generally means is, editorial content and games and content, any type of content for the user. We're making it viable for that publisher to stay in business by providing their revenue. So that's our value proposition, to enable the highest yield for these publishers. That's what we do. Essentially, programmatic integrations amplify that. So more integrations you have, the more ability you have to generate revenue for every single ad opportunity that publisher has. That's why it's so important for us. For out of 1 million impressions from one publisher, today we might be generating revenue for them for maybe only half of that inventory. But the more integrations you add, that other half that's not being monetized right now ends up being monetized. So we'll give you an example. Our company that we acquired, AdSell, they monetize 99.9% of all traffic or all ad inventory for every publisher that they're working with. And the reason why they're so good is because they have the ability they have the technology, they have the ability to leverage that technology. It's very specific and proprietary, and it's very different from what publishers are used to seeing out there. Now, the average for an app publisher to monetize is about 60% of their inventory through their partnerships. Now, AdSell is on a mission now. We're on a mission to syndicate that technology and get it in the hands of many more publishers and maximize yields for them, and that's huge value and increases the viability of publishing. So essentially, we plan on having significantly more integrations this year, and we're very excited about a couple that we signed last year that are going live in the next few days, actually. And we should be able to provide updates to the market as soon as that happens. And our CTO from AdSell, Dennis Kravchenko, mentioned in the last video that we did that a couple of these partnerships, he is predicting that we can do potentially $100,000 per day with. And so we're seeing really strong signs of that happening, and we will update the market very shortly on that front as well. Thank you for your time. This is Ted Dhanik. You can feel free to email us, info@en1.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.